People in here to prove that they exist. Put your hands up. And then prove to me how, I ain't talking about using your senses as far as feeling and this, because the word exist is English, and we know that somebody created the word English in their mind. So if you existed under that spell. But if you can prove it, I'm going to give you a chance to prove it. Who can prove that we exist? Go. I saw one hand up. Exist as far as being here. You seeing me? You acknowledging me? How can you prove that you hear me, see me? Who taught you that? But then we have to do the background of the people who taught you that.
I guess when I was born, my mother taught me.
Your mother taught you that, and then she learned it from somewhere else. All right. Now, hearing, seeing, and speaking. Who taught you about this first? My mother didn't teach me how to hear, speak, or any of that. I learned this in an educational facility. My mother taught me something else within 9 months gestation of me being in her womb. Time in the womb is different from time outside the womb. When you're in the third dimension, a physical dimension, 9 months is 9,000 years. Ask me, how can I prove that?
How can you?
Now, when a child comes out of his mother's womb, it latches onto the nipple. How did it learn that? Did it learn it inside of an education facility? Did it mother teach it? Did you teach it that? How did the child know that it had to latch onto the nipple to be nurtured? It didn't hear anything. It heard the heartbeat of the mother. Heartbeat speak. That's how we were taught. That's how the ancestors learned. The universe will speak to them. You know why dogs don't get sick and birds don't get sick like we do? They don't need medical facilities? Because they urinate outside. They do their dirty work outside. And in return, you know they say the dog poop is good for the soil? The universe gives them something back in return through the frequency. So when they release, the universe releases something back off to them. There's a reason why they don't want you to urinate outside. It's against the law. You gotta ask why it's against the law. You never ask that question.
So how is it that we can, even with that being against the law, what is it that we can do around that so we can get the release and get back from the universe?
Well, my mother used to make us, we had a pee bucket. I don't know if y'all familiar with that. We had a pee bucket. My mother would do rituals. We had a garden, and she would take the pee bucket and spread the pee around the garden. And right there where the garden was at, the food would grow. Where the garden was at. And when we eat the food will actually cleanse us out. So in return, it's just like the trees give you oxygen. You give the trees something else and it gives you something. Because you're a part of the universe. You're a part of nature. That's your mother. We've left our mother. People say, well, don't you feel some type of way that your physical mother left you when you was younger? No, I'm not worried about that. That didn't affect me. But if this mother leaves me, I won't be able to eat it. Because she grows my food. When I put my seed into her, she allows me to eat the food that I need to eat. To be able to think. Without somebody else thinking for me. That's why I asked you, how do you know you exist? Somebody is thinking for you because you had to learn that you existed. I didn't know what the word exist was until somebody taught it to me. Maybe we know too much. I think that we know too much. Because when you study nature, they don't know none of this stuff that we know. But yet they're in tune. They don't go to doctors, they don't need lawyers. They only go on by the laws of the universe. But I think when you induct it with certain things, it becomes like that herb that you take into the laboratory and you genetically engineer it. Now it's no good for you, so now you no good for yourself. What happens to something that you take into a laboratory and teach it? Ingredients is information. So when they take an herb that's natural into the laboratory and they put stuff, they're teaching it to do this to your body. Say this to his mind. In the military, they go beyond that though. They have stuff in the military that they put chips in. It's called voice to skull. And they can actually make certain things play out in your mind. So now you go out here to the battlefield, and the people that you're supposed to be fighting with, they look like your enemies. Now you're seeing other stuff. They put drugs inside of your food. They put drugs inside of the water that you're drinking. So they took the hydrogen and replaced it with certain chips of carbon. They manipulated the carbon gene inside of it. So now you're seeing things that they want you to see. That's playing out in your mind. So, existing, to me, is something that is oppressing us. When they spell words, they have to use numbers in order to oppress you. They say, you know what, the English language, they had to use the lowest of numbers to oppress you by using certain numbers. That's why the other day, I don't know if you seen my video, I did an Anunnaki video, and I said A is 1, N is 14, N is 14, and I broke it down to its lowest common denominator. So when you look at it that way, they make you see a figure. How come when you say brown or blue, you don't think of a person? But when you say Anunnaki or Anunnaki, you think of a person or a being. But when you say a color, you don't. You don't see a person, you see a color. Again, it was taught to you. But color is a person too, because color can manipulate you and make you sick. If you go into a white room, your body is going to react to it differently, whereas if you walk into a black or darker room, it's better for you to be in a darker room. Why? Because your carbon takes on the frequency of that darkness, because there's many colors within that darkness. Darkness, which you call black, creates all other colors. And this is not a racist. I'm not going to go into that racist stuff. So I'm beyond that. I know that I'm more than an African. I know that black don't exist. I know that white don't exist. I know it's only good and evil. And I know that certain things exist that we call culture is of different spiritual bloodlines. And it's not extraterrestrial. There's nothing extraterrestrial about it. I know that many of us in here have different zodiac signs. And I can prove that these zodiac signs have us connected to a certain planet, which is another country. See, they got y'all thinking that Africa is a country or continent or China. No, these planets. They gave you something that's one. Remember they said the whole planet was Asia at one time? Yeah. So they make you think that, again, they fragment your thoughts for you. So I'm just African. I'm just a small piece of the globe, which is 10%. So now you think, well, how much percent of your brain? 10% of your brain. Now you wonder why you think 10% of your brain. But if you're the universe, and you consist of dark matter, I thought that your culture is the all in all. You're supposed to be kin to every single thing that you see, from the birds to the trees, because these are living things. And they are taught to you if you respect them. They can feel, when bees sting you, you was already hurt me. Why do they die out when they sting you? You don't ask yourself that question, did you? I did a report and a research study that showed that bees, when they're in hibernation, when you don't see them, they're conjuring up intelligence and certain frequencies from the universe. So they come in the summertime and they pollinate and do certain things. But when they sting you, they also give you a certain spiritual pollination. They are injecting intelligence in you, and they're picking up something inside of you and taking it somewhere else. So they're not really dying out. That energy that's inside that thing that you call a bee is transferring what was in you to somewhere else. That's why the mosquitoes are not natural today. These are not real mosquitoes, because they knew that mosquitoes was doing certain things too. The animals is more than what you think. They want you to see these things as just some small things that ain't a part of you. It's more than that.
Yeah, they down in Florida, they actually made some GMO mosquitoes and released them into the public.
That's right.
And I tell my brother, look at this, like 10, I'm 41, so 10, 15 years ago, we didn't see the mosquitoes that you see now.
Right, exactly. And it could be that the Mandela effect is playing out too, because it could be a various type of thing going on as far as, like I told you, I said your home is in this direction this year. Right. Next year, your home may be on another part of the continent. Mm-hmm. And then you wonder why you're seeing different people, you're feeling a certain type of way about different environments, is because something else is moving, not you. You think you moving. It's something else moving you. They think you're spinning on some damn globe. You're not spinning. It's something else moving you, and it's not outside of you. It's right here. If I take this away from you, I can control where you go. I can tell you that this is left and this is right. Go right. And then you go right. Now you should not disrespect the laws of nature, because you're supposed to determine what your right is. You're supposed to determine what your wrong is. This is why we are being taken advantage of by family, because family do not exist. If you're not physical, then how can you identify yourself with physical people? Your mother can very well be your enemy. I'm going to say the stuff that people are afraid to say. Because if you're not physical, then how can you not agree with me? Not that I care if you agree or not, but I'm just saying I'm going by the laws of nature. I'm doing what nature tells me to do. Are we physical? No, we're not. So if we're not physical, then how can I be kin to anything around me? How can I identify? Again, the same people that you say oppressed us taught you that you were kin to people by way of DNA. And DNA is not what they tell you it is. DNA is downloads of memory from different lifetimes where you have already been. They make you think that you just existed coming out of your mother's womb. No, you can't kill a soul. If you the soul, then how is this your first time living? They want you to think that. Just think with me. Think about what I'm saying. if this is your first time living, coming out into this third dimension, maybe this is your first time here, or on a certain part of the third dimension, but this is not your first time so-called existing, or playing out inside of a universal computer. Again, earlier, we all here for a reason. We met before. Whenever you go into a life and people come to certain gatherings like this, that means you've met before. When you go to church, you've seen people who've been going to war before. That's why he's killing the people out in front of him. He don't have a heart, he don't care. He's taking the money. Why? Because he knows the science of currency. I can do the same thing. I just don't want to do it. Why? Because I know it's such thing as a physical account and there's such thing as a spiritual account. I know that everything I do here will follow me wherever I go next. Or I can become the thing that I do to oppress the people in my next life. I can be in the middle of that. You become the negative. When you put negative out, you get negative back. When you put positive out, you get positive back. It's like when you land down with your significant other. A sperm is not sperm. Again, it's an English word. I know y'all saying, well, we got to say something to do this or do that. You right, we do. Because we have to abide by the laws of certain dimensions. But at the same time, you don't have to be a part of the dimension just because you are in it. This is why I love Christianity, even though I'm not in it anymore. Because it tells you to be in the world, but be not of the world. It still has some certain sciences in it if you know how to look at it. Every book that you call foolishness, you can find wisdom in. A fool is even wise when he shut his damn mouth. Because you don't know what's on his mind. You get what I'm saying? So he's playing chess. You don't know which way he's moving. So we got to graduate beyond cultures, titles, and certain things that make us think that we are part of this existence. Because all of this was made by somebody else. It wasn't made by you. I think that if we were left alone, like things in nature were left alone, we'll be able to, we wouldn't need a healthcare bill. I'm sorry, at the gym the other day, people need healthcare. The bill been shot down. Who cares? If you eat what you're supposed to eat, you wouldn't need healthcare. Do you get what I'm saying? If you follow the laws of nature, you wouldn't have to worry about a system that you claim is oppressing you, taking care of you. Why would you want this machine to take care of you when this machine is the machine that's oppressing you anyway? You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, and then talking about health, I'm glad. A lot of people want me to speak on, and I usually don't get into the conscious community stuff, but I'm going to speak on this because maybe some people have enough humbleness in them to listen to what I'm saying. I spoke about Dr. Sadie being a sacrifice for the brother Polite. Well, I was shown that Polite was given a contract to bring in certain naturopathic teachers in return for him beating the people for their money. So now who's in Polite's jurisdiction now? Who's in his circle now? Yada. Brother, if you're listening to me, be careful. Be careful. And I'm not loony or anything. I was shown this by the ancestors, and I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. So I'm speaking to you. This brother got to deal with certain higher up corporations to take off certain naturopathics because you're messing with their money. He's messing with the drug administration's money. Go back to what you was doing, brother. All right, so I just wanted to touch on that. There was something else that I want to touch on. It'll come back to me. I'll be out in the universe so far, but I'm going to take questions and answers now. Q&A. Anybody got any questions?
You got a question?
Pertaining to what I just said or anything, relationships, health, anything.
I think you should do an in-depth video about the health thing, about the nature. And I tell people this all the time about, like, if you just stop participating in these things that's actually oppressing you and holding you back, things will get better. Like you said, they don't need to go to the doctor or whatever. If you stick to nature, I think you do an in-depth video on that, that'd be beautiful.
Right. Again, it ain't just only what you put in your mouth that heals you. Because, again, when you go outside and you giving certain things from your body to the universe, which they have a law, they catch what they allow you for urinating in public. This stuff will heal you. But it's ironic that the birds and everything else know this, and they never get sick. But health is not only physical. What is the alkaline food for the mind? It's peace. So if your peace is being controlled, then you're not even yourself anymore. That's a part of health too. The people around you is food. So if you have negative energy around you, which is negative people, you downloading this stuff. Your body produces salts, and then you have blood pressure, diabetes.
So your diet can even be the people and places and things that you are around.
Environments, yeah, exactly. You can eat all the alkaline foods you want, but if you got abuse around you,
They ain't gonna do
you
nothing.
don't do nothing. It ain't gonna help you. You're still gonna die out dealing with the energy of other people. Because remember, I have more control of your environment than you do if you don't have your mind in place. If you're not balanced, if you don't know how to identify your environment by the people that's in it, because you are your environment as well, and you beyond your environment. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, health goes beyond this stuff. But what we see today going on in the so-called conscious community is a religious type of health thing, because everybody's selling something. There's nothing wrong with selling it or doing this and doing that, but at the same time, try to manifest a higher type of communication with the people where you see the things going on. You saying that people's being healed of this and that. Bring these people to the forefront so that people can start seeing this stuff happen. It's religious. If you're saying you're doing something but you're not showing it, you get what I'm saying? It's just religious. It ain't gonna happen. And then health also starts here too. If you go to the doctor and the doctor tell you you got cancer, right? Or the doctor tell you you got certain things, diabetes and stuff, and you put it in your mind that you got it, then your body gonna download that frequency. It's gonna send those, your body endow on megahertz. So just like that television in front of you, you picking up certain channels. That's why they call it channels. It's channeling into the megahertz in your brain, and you download it. So you might go to sleep and dream about the infomercial of what's going on television, and wake up and say, I just had a dream about that. That's because you connected to it. Same thing with the people. They just like television. If they throwing out subliminal messages, then you can't really control your health. You downloading this stuff. So the doctor tell you got cancer, you believe it. Now you through. He got your mind now. So now they taking your blood to a laboratory and doing your own magic on your blood and telling you that you got this. They don't just take your blood to the laboratory and tell you you got this, and that. They doing certain things with your blood, voodoo and all that. They took your sciences and they doing voodoo on your stuff. Now all of a sudden you seeing crazy stuff chasing you, you going crazy, you done murder somebody. That's because again, when your DNA come out of you, it's still a part of you. I can take your blood and ship it all the way to India. Guess what? It's still gonna affect you all the way from India. They ain't gonna teach you this in the school though. Because they don't want you to know this. They'll teach you about blood and tissue and all that. That ain't gonna harm them. But let somebody like me come to the front and talk like this, oh, he crazy. I know it affects you. Because I got people that live in Ghana. My father was born in Kumasi. I'm a part of the Ashanti royal family. I have aunts who've done experiments of things that I've sent there, and I felt it and seen it at the time that she said I was going to feel it and see it. Just like when they told me to come to Buffalo to do a lecture there with certain people in the country community, and my aunt called me from Ghana and said, you're supposed to be doing a lecture here. She knew nothing about me. You're supposed to be doing some type of event with somebody. Don't go there, because you want to walk in the building, but nothing is going to walk out in that shell. And I was like, what you mean? So I was being stubborn. So my queen had to get on me like, well, if you go, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I sat here and told you not to go. So I sat back. I said, you know what? How can I say that Mother Nature is the highest form of universal law and respect, but not listen to my queen? You get what I'm saying? So I said, I gotta fall back. You get what I'm saying? So yeah.
And I'm glad you're doing what you're doing, man, and you're not getting caught up like speaking on, polite and what y'all trying to follow in the footsteps or whatever you got going on. But I'm glad you got brothers like you that's real strong and doing what you're doing, man. You just keep it up.
Right. And I appreciate, well, it's the people. You know what I mean? When you have real people behind you and not followers. See, people say, well, how come you don't have a lot of followers? Because I don't want followers. I want thinkers. And it's only a few thinkers. So we keep the followers and give me a few thinkers. A person who can think for themselves will go to war with you. A person who follows you is going to stand behind you while you go to war for them. And they'll think for you. And throw GoFundMe pages up. And then eat off of what you get. This is why a lot of people say, well, why don't they attack you in the country? Because they know. I know too much. I've seen too many of them in my dreams. And they seen me. Real talk. When you cut chickens' heads off and put it in water, and you take the feathers of the bird, you see, when they talk about the decoding, the measuring that and all that, why would I look at a bird that's in stone? I know what it's saying. I can go right here with a bird at, with an ancestor at, and get his feather. It's just telling you the power that you have that's on the wall there. So I can go to Kemetic right outside my door to the bird and get the feather that he dropped for me and throw it in there with the chicken blood. And I'll meet you in your dream. I'll bring the Medunetter to you in your dream. They don't know nothing about it. It's religious. The kemetic community is religious. They just as religious as the Hebrew Israelites. They just as religious as the Christianity and Islam. Our ancestors didn't see things literal. They didn't see things. They didn't learn here. They went somewhere else.